nurturing democratic values, establishing peace and stability, and achieving the kind of sustainable development that would be seen as equitable by all our peoples. Burma is a complex nation, as all of you know, and its complexities are compounded by the fact that people expect us to overcome all these challenges in as short a time as possible. I think it is only fitting that I should remind you that today that our government has not yet been in power for even 18 months. It will be 18 months at the end of this year. 18 months is a very short time in which to expect us to meet and overcome all the challenges that we have been expected to do. This does not mean that we are not ready to go on with our task of overcoming these challenges. Because I believe in the community of nations, I am prepared to share with all our friends who wish us well and who understand our problems and sympathize with us what we have been doing to democratic transition, peace and stability, and development. I'm aware of the fact that the world's attention is focused on the situation in Rakhine State. And as I said at the General Assembly last year, as a responsible member of the community of nations, Myanmar does not fear international scrutiny, and we are committed to a sustainable solution that would lead to peace, stability, and development for all communities within that state. I then went on to last year to give a brief outline of our plans to achieve this end. Unhappily, on 9th October, 18 days after the delivery of my address at the General Assembly, 3 police outposts were attacked by armed Muslim groups. There were further attacks on 11th October and 12th November, and these clashes resulted in loss of lives, injuries, burning of villages, and the displacement of peoples in the affected areas. Many Muslims fled to Bangladesh. Since then, the government has been making every effort to restore peace and stability and to promote harmony between the Muslim and Rakhine communities. Even before these outbreaks took place, we had established a central committee for rule of law and development in the Rakhine and invited Dr. Kofi Annan to lead a commission that would help us to resolve the long-standing problems of that state. But in spite of all these efforts, we were not able to prevent the conflicts from taking place. Still, throughout the last year, we have continued with our program of development and the establishment of peace and harmony. After several months of seemingly quiet and peace, on the 25th of August, 30 police outposts, as well as the regimental headquarters in Downdanza village, were attacked by armed groups. Consequent to these attacks, the government declared the Arakan Rohingya Salvation Army and its supporters responsible for acts of terrorism as a terrorist group in accordance with the Counter-Terrorism Law, Section 5, Section 6, Subsection 5. There has been much concern around the world with regard to the situation in Rakhine. It is not the intention of the Myanmar government to apportion blame or to abnegate responsibility. We condemn all human rights violations and unlawful violence. We are committed to the restoration of peace, stability, and rule of law throughout the state. The security forces have been instructed to adhere strictly to the code of conduct in carrying out security operations, to exercise all due restraint, and to take full measures to avoid collateral damage and the harming of innocent civilians. Human rights violations and all other acts that impair stability and harmony and undermine the rule of law will be addressed in accordance with strict norms of justice. We feel deeply for the suffering of all the people who have been caught up in the conflict. Those who have had to flee their homes are many, not just Muslims and Rakhines, but also small minority groups such as the Daine, Maro, Tep, Maramaji, and Hindus, of whose presence most of the world is totally unaware. Of Muslims in the Rakhine state have not joined the exodus. More than 50% of the villages of Muslims are intact. They are as they were before the attacks took place. And we would like to know why. This is what I think we have to work towards. Not just looking at the problems, but also looking at those areas where there are no problems. Why have these problems been, why have we been able to avoid these problems